It looks like a pen.
Yeah, kind of did. Kind of like that.
It's my micro driver.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Forge. I'm Big Cloudwaz, and today we have with us the sensational Web C.
Hey.
I'm going to be doing some 3D printing and, well, working on my YF Valkyrie.
Alright. I've got a mess on my station. Maybe I should just get a little more reorganized while we talk and stuff. No, don't leave. It's trying to make me leave. Don't do that. So I'm just gonna back my camera out, but you guys can still hear me pretty loud and clear. So let's get my microphone open a little bit. There we go. How's it going? All right. We're going to look at and talk about some crazy things. Let's go back to our homepage and see if we can get anything to pop up. Um, also, Bit, I was going to talk to you about, what was it? I was going to talk to you about the OBS that I'm switching to. It's basically you just customize it completely yourself. It's really nice. I feel like Restream kind of has like limitations and stuff.
Yeah.
And this newer system that I'm switching into is it's a lot nicer. All right. So while I'm looking for things,
I'm always looking for a new system. That's always good.
yep. So and it's free software. And the nice thing is you can import 1920 by 1080 devices via URL hubbing. So you can import up to 4 different camera angles for one show for yourself if you want to. If you don't have any guests and you've got different devices that you can turn on, you can turn those devices on and turn them into cameras and stuff for your show. So that's something that I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
that sounds really cool, man.
so I could like
I'm
hijack one of my kids' phones or whatever if they're not using their phone and turn it into like a secondary camera and stuff. Yeah. So just things like that.
hell yeah.
Probably won't happen a lot, but
So it's
from now,
gonna be cool to watch it happen.
yeah. So and it's really cool. The hosting guest stuff is really nice too. Super easy.
Hell yeah.
So, so um, really, what's your take on the fires in California? What's your take on that, man? Have you been seeing the videos? Have you heard about the videos that have been coming out from them?
I hear that there's been a lot of interesting people that just so happen to be in that localized area that are, well, there's been a VIP or two, I think, or at least a TV star or something like that.
Oh, okay. So you really haven't heard any. All right. So we have reports of things from the Eye of Sauron to magnifying glasses the size of the moon to orbs to UFOs to a spaceship that looks almost like a Millennium Falcon flying through this fire. We have videos popping up left and right. I've seen some crazy stuff on this, man. Tons of stuff. Only thing I know for sure is from what I've heard through the grapevine, is there's just some 2 kids that weren't being watched by their adults, and they're playing with fire. And the winds picked up and gusted, and it took off. That's what I know from what I've been hearing through the grapevine. I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but once it gets out of control, though, really, you gotta quit worrying about how it happened and just start worrying about getting taken care of. And
Yeah,
yeah, so I don't feel bad for all the rich celebrities that lost their homes. They can afford to rebuild. I do feel bad for all the poor, normal, average people, though. I feel bad for all of them who lost their homes.
I do as
Uh,
well. Those
uh,
people won't be able to rebuild as easy.
Right, especially because that bogus thing happened where the insurance companies dropped right before the fires took their houses. They were like the fire started, and then less than 24 hours after the fire started, before it took a home, the insurance company started dropping homes in that area.
Oh, that's bogus.
No, yeah, they're in trouble. Somebody's gonna sue them. It's gonna be class action. Along with that,
Uh-huh.
I mean, there are a bunch of celebrities that are coming forward and actually, like helping everybody and stuff. Um,
Oh, that's awesome.
Celebrities are, putting their money where their mouth is. Reports of people like Taylor Swift forking over like $10 million to aid anybody. Um, Even the mad scientist himself, Elon Musk, has donated Cybertrucks fully energized and
I still wouldn't
free
take one.
free refueling. You know, I mean, I know he's the evil mad scientist, but hey, you know,
He's going to work for the copper-coated Palpatine.
the copper coated Palpatine. Oh, you call him that? I call him Tangerine Palpatine.
I like that one too, my guy.
It rolls off the tongue a little smoother. You know what I mean? But other than that, I like it. Oh, and then there was his first vice president. I called him Darth Pence because man, he was. I did not like Pence, dude. Pence was the thorn in the side for me.
There's a lot of things that can be said about those two. I'm pretty sure someone is behind the proverbial woodshed in that little duo.
Well, like George Lucas said, there can only be two. Anyways, now we got J.D. Vance, and uh, I don't know. I'm excited to see what this Vance dude might do.
Oh,
I
we'll
don't
see.
care what he's doing. That's not my. But now this Vance dude, man, he comes from like a backwoods, family, a podunk family. I, I that's got to be different. There's got to be something different about that. Like, I don't know. So maybe he'll be the bright little light in that dark storm cloud. I don't know.
We'll find out. Only
Think so,
time will tell.
right? And then
Speaking of what only time can tell, like for some reason the other night, you know, my 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 incredibly crazy but incredibly loving significant other found the land before time.
oh no, three horns
Yeah,
don't play with long necks.
exactly. Like that has been playing in my head for the last couple days. I'm like, son of
Yeah,
a gun.
that's so funny. I love it. Uh, yeah, Land Before Time I think is a big hit in our house too. Me and my wife are definitely Land Before Time children. Um, and we did try to get our kids to watch it when they were younger.
I like.
The first one was a little too scary for them, so we usually always went to the second one right away with them,
Mm,
which was the Great Valley Adventures or whatever when they finally got there.
yeah,
So that that made up, like for the kids not liking the first one. The first one, I mean, like the first 30, 40 minutes of the movie in the first one is pretty dark. So
mm,
as a kid, I was confused. I was like, why are we watching this? Like the first time I ever saw it, I was like, this is different. But it was like the adults in my life, we made like this big event about going to watch it at somebody's house. They had like this big, huge 70-inch, like one of those first projection screen TVs. So we
oh
went over,
man, like
got to sit
thank
on,
you for making me feel old again.
yeah, we got to sit on the floor as little kids right in front of their big TV and watch this amazing cartoon movie. Oh man, it was almost like being in the movie theater at that person's house. I don't remember what their names were, that couple, but they were like friends with my mom and my stepdad. But
Yeah.
yeah, totally at a loss for what their names were.
See, the first time I came into contact with something like that was at my aunt and my uncle's. But then again, I also ran into my first Nintendo over there.
Ooh,
Like,
Nintendo.
yeah, Nintendo. And then shortly after that, my house decided it needed a game system, so they got a Sega Saturn.
All right, so I had Sega Saturn for a little bit. So what happened was systems just kept coming out. So
Yeah,
we just kept getting different systems, and they were. It wasn't necessarily me and my mom and my dad and my sister, because for quite a few years we lived in kind of like a communal family home type thing, and there was like 9 to 12 people living in a home at a time with us at some times. Three families, up to three families living together. Crazy. It was crazy. But we survived. We lived. Everybody ate. Everybody got a place to sleep, type
that's
of
the
thing.
important thing.
Yeah, anyways, so uh one of my cousins, his mom would always take his older system and trade it in for, cash value on towards the different system or whatever. So he would
Sure.
always have a different system. As soon as the new system would hit the market, he would be trading his stuff in for a different, to upgrade. Which was cool because that means I get to play it too. So me and him all summer long for like 2 summers. If we weren't outside playing sports in the daytime, we were in the house at nighttime, up at super late hours playing video games like on his Nintendo 64, we played a lot of wrestling, like WCW, the Nitro game or whatever, Monday
Yeah.
Night Nitro. That game, we played a lot of that. But then there was also, other games like football and basketball. We played those versions as well. Then Mario and Super, what was it, Silent Dark or whatever, something like that. We played that as well. And all those games way back then. Uh, you brought up Sega Saturn. I remember playing Sega CD, which was right before Sega Saturn.
I remember Game Gear.
Game Gear, I I remember renting Game Gears at Perkins, the restaurant.
Wow.
That's how I got to play Game Gear. We would play the Game Gear at the restaurant.
Well, I remember you could also get a game system from. You could rent a game system for a couple days or something. I can't remember the exact timeline, but it was from Blockbuster.
Yeah, I remember when you used to be able to do that.
I know. I feel old too, man. Man,
Blockbuster
those
back
things
in
were
the day.
extra. Like some people don't realize that those things were a lot heavier than what they looked. That was a that was an anti-theft case back then.
Yeah.
Well, look, you essentially look like you were walking out of the store with the football for the president. That's what that's about the closest I can describe it. It looks like you're walking out with the ability to nuke China.
Gee.
I mean, I felt weird carrying the thing out when I was a kid. Walk outside with that thing, I didn't know what was going to happen the first time I did it. Kind of funny.
All right.
Haha! Success!
So here is the shoulder pad. Got a little drill hole there, a little drill hole back there. Now I am thinking about putting just a little bit of a panel line design right here. So I gotta first figure out what design I'm gonna do. I already have an idea, so it's gonna go quick. Uh,
Oh,
take your handy dandy scissors. This is what this is. This is a scissors. And
Skizzer.
you cut yourself a piece of your dymo tape. I think I got your dymo tape. Now what you're gonna do with your dymo tape is you're gonna place it where you want it to sit so you can make a scribe line. And for this, we just need a straight line, so let's not be picky. He's always cut funny, but it's not gonna be a very big straight line. We just want pretty much somewhere in the middle. Yeah. So, back to these fires, man. This stuff is wild. These reports I've been getting and stuff. I've been checking all the different social media sites just to see what's been coming through. But I've gotten quite a few heavy reports about unidentified flying objects within the spectrum of the fire. Like the fire being monitored by them or something. I don't know, but people are noticing, and they are and they are not happy about it.
Why would they be? I mean, it sounds like there's an extra bunch of bullshit going on down there.
Well, I mean, it, my first thought when I first thought about it was I was going in my brain. I was like, oh no, like that could be like a fire to create uh, an invasion spot for the water dwellers for them to come
It
up
sounds
on the
like a
land.
slash and burn for what the Seabees would do if we ever invaded a country.
Yeah, like
There's a ton of ways it could have gone, and it still can go.
yeah.
I just don't know how far it's going to go before everything else hits the fan.
Yeah, it hits the fan. No, I agree with you, and I just more so have a level of curiosity for it.
Yeah, like I'm wondering what's going to happen myself. I'm also wondering like how the rest of the world's going to take it as well.
They're all probably going to cheer that America got invaded by them.
What? I didn't catch that.
I said they'll all probably cheer because it was America that got invaded by the water dwellers.
Hmm. Well, damn.
I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like some District 19 type stuff or whatever, some District 9 type stuff.
Yeah, District 9, yeah.
But
That movie was messed up to me.
I thought that movie
It was
should have
good,
won
but it was messed up.
an award or something.
Yeah. It was a very good movie, very thought out, very put together. But
I
it was still like the what they were showing was messed up, but not like it,
Yeah,
it
well, it's just like what is it? The Avatar, the Blue People movie?
Oh yeah, Avatar.
It's just the retelling of our people.
Yeah. Ah. Sometimes things need a little. I thought the movie was good. I liked Avatar.
I liked it. I thought it was like the animation was great and everything, but that story seemed very familiar.
Well, you gotta remember, there's very little actual nuance out there that's new. There's a lot of stuff that gets done that's like not so much copied and taken, but there's I don't know how to put it really now. I had it, but now it's gone.
I get it. I get it. I know exactly what you mean.
but
And you're
coming
right,
from
yeah,
people that have creative ideas outside of what you normally see is kind of hard.
yes,
I mean, to me, Harry Potter was just a sucky version of Star Wars,
you are correct.
but it was a good a good sucky version, but the lightsabers just sucked.
Yeah, well,
That being said,
Star Wars was just an amped up, overdone version of Lord of the Rings.
true. I like Lord of the Rings too, though. Like I say, I'm a well-rounded nerd.
Oh, I'm a big Star Wars nerd. Don't
Oh,
don't believe that.
like Star Wars is definitely getting interesting because it looks like there might be a multiverse there too.
Well, hope, I hope. I can only hope.
I there's rumors that there is a character that's going to make an appearance later on, who is one of the very few characters based off of someone famous already.
What?
Michael Jackson is one of the very few people that had a multiversal character, and he does show up in Star Wars.
He's dead though.
Huh?
He's dead though.
He was almost a Jedi, but no, he was a different character altogether. Like back in the day thing, but like his like younger self is in Skeleton Crew.
Okay, but I'm just saying that the real life person's dead now. What are they just gonna CGI him in?
No, like it's not Michael Jackson per se. It's like they're using a stand-in, yes, but they're doing it not to look like him.
Okay,
Skeleton Crew, the younger kid, yeah, that's him. The main character, that's him.
okay.
The captain that like yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
I will keep an eye out.
And that's like just rumors that I've come across as far as that goes.
Like how I did that?
Yeah, but keep an eye on me.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out.
You ain't right, man.
But, yeah. Hey, did you know Minnesota existed before Canada? So
Hmm.
technically, Canadians are just talking like a Minnesotan.
I don't know what to think about that, man.
Most Minnesotans just call Canada up north, anyways.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could be that in range of a murder chicken.
What?
I don't know if I could be that close to striking distance with murder chickens.
What do you mean?
The murder chickens are evil.
What's a murder chicken?
Canadian goose.
Those are cobra chickens.
Well, down here they're called murder chickens.
We call them cobra chickens up here.
And those things will sneak up on you, hiss, and then run away. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, they don't really bother people so much up here because they know we eat them.
Well, I'm not exactly in the state I'm from, so
I'm just saying.
where I'm there in Kansas, where I'm from, You just you get the right look in your eye, and they start to walk away. The ones in Indiana, you literally have to like start going at them for them to run away.
Okay.
like, don't. It's just irritating. I never liked murder chickens.
Eh, they're not so bad. I
It's
don't really care for real chickens. Like, I like to eat them, but I mean, like, being around them and stuff, I'm not too big with real chickens.
well,
Part of it is, I think they know. You know what I mean?
you think they know.
Oh, yeah, I think they know.
Oh, I'm gonna have to incline to agree with you on that on some things with them because damn, sometimes
No,
they
just
just
because I'm a meat eater doesn't mean I'm oblivious to the creatures I'm eating. You know, like, yes, it was alive. Yes, I ate it. Yes, it was tasty. Well, something will find me tasty one day too. It'll probably be a worm, and that's okay.
I was
Just a
gonna
little
say
bit.
if you end up being the weird meat in a Fallout game, I know who to I yep
The weird meat.
the sweet meat from Fallout.
Yeah,
You don't know what that was?
I didn't play a lot of that game. I tried
Oh,
to
it was a
play it.
very particular meat.
Yeah. Oh, it's just like in Oddworld.
Oddworld. Oh my! I haven't heard seen that in a minute.
Yeah.
You're just on a throwback night, aren't you, man?
Oh, dude, I'm an old person, man. I'm an old soul, old person, whatever you want to call it.
I'm an old soul, man. I get it, but some of the ones you're bringing back are like, yeah. I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just like, wow, I haven't thought about that for years.
Yeah, I tend to do that.
What in the name of Sam Clinton? Huh.
Uh,
I had the piece, and then I put it down, and yeah, way to
you can
go,
have
man.
your piece and send it to. Oh, yeah.
Oh, oh, O'Reilly. What
Hello,
the
folks.
hell?
Oh, man. I played a song today
Uh huh.
after my wife got home from work this evening. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like talking to her. I was like, a video passed by me today, and this song is stuck in my head. Help me look for it. So she helped me look for it. I played it. And do you remember a show on Nickelodeon from when we were kids called Salute Your Shorts?
Oh, mother pearl. You didn't.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, you did.
Yep. Core memory unlocked. Juice, 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 juice. Jedi Q unfold. Holocron activated.
Wow.
What? Wow.
It's just
I
again
know.
it's been years.
I know. I'm extra about this.
I rem I remember what was it? Make what was it? Something where the people all like they shrunk a person down at the end of the show. It was like a big head, way little body, like a little
them.
Village thing.
I has no clue.
Oh, it was on Nickelodeon. It's like early '90s. Oh, mid '90s, really.
All right. Yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember, but I
They
remember.
shrunk the guy down.
Well, basically, they made it look like he did, but there was a machine they pulled out by a guy in a wheelchair that was really a puppet. It was a weird show.
Talking about
Wienerville or
like
something.
some goosebumps type stuff or something.
No, it was like Blues Clues type thing. Just
Okay.
Nickelodeon.
No,
I,
it's not ringing a bell for me.
well, basically there was the person that did the show, and there was a bunch of like little puppets. They had really small bodies, big ass fucking head, and at the end of the show, they picked a kid from the audience. They made him look like one of the puppets.
That's kind of creepy.
It was, mm, I can't remember.
That might have been regional, man, because that's not ringing a bell.
It might have been like back then. Nickelodeon was doing crazy shit all the time.
Nickelodeon puppets. Like, I don't remember there being a puppet show on Nickelodeon. So now I gotta think about that. I mean, later on in the later '90s, there was that My Cousin Skeeter,
Uh, that might have been it.
but that was like he was like
He was
he
the
was like a
person that
60s
was
style.
hosting the show was full size. It was everybody else that was like a puppet size. There was this small little town, and
I'm so lost. I mean, dude, Mr. Rogers had a little puppet town.
this was definitely not Mister Rogers.
You're not talking like Crank Yankers, are you? No, that's not Nickelodeon. That's Comedy Central.
Well, it will come to one of us and we'll be like, "Hey, you remember what we were talking about the other night on the show? Yeah, this."
Right?
It's usually how it goes.
It definitely is easy how it goes. There's so many bins of plastic to sand here. It's not funny. This is not a joke. Never commit to doing stuff like this. I tell you what, I'm gonna start being a guy to just tell you, just don't do this. This is not. I'm sitting here just racking my brain over this one little part. Like, what do I want to do with it? Should I do any customization at all? No, I don't think I should. I think I should leave this one alone. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do something to it. Nah, I should leave it. I customized a bunch of stuff around it already.
Yeah.
So once if you start overloading it, people will start overlooking what you've done. And it's like you gotta pick and choose your spots.
That is true. When I first started doing kit bashing, I had the tendency to overload with weapons or basically what would be in video games an EX boot, like an EX skill. And like for instance, I took the Strike Freedom, and I basically added two more cannons to the back unit and overlaid it, and everything. It would have been a bad piece to show off. Looked cool, but there was no stability there.
Yay, no stable. So some of the crazy things about this the California fires. I know I'm sticking to this because I'm like I am so enthralled with that. There's so many different things. Some of the UFOs and unexplained objects flying around these fires that I saw were pretty astonishing. Like one, a couple of videos, it was clear they were not faked because these things were going in and out and through the fire and smoke and stuff, and you're like, oh wow, you can tell like they were actually actively dodging, the fire too. So it wasn't fake. So it brings you to question what were they doing there? Why were they just observing? And then the next thing is so many different ones. How many different species, or are they just like a species like us who they like to have variety, so they have more than one kind of car? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it draws me into a new question about this whole situation. Which
Definitely
is,
sounds like there's something else going on there that I don't know. It just there's a lot going on with that whole thing, though. I know that.
yeah. So my brain becomes curiosity central ground zero for this stuff sometimes. Where I'm like, yeah, I want to know why are they, why is this important to them? And,
Why
but
there?
when we look strategically, here's the thing: when we look strategically where that landmass is and where everything is, that's planted right up against the hill. As to where, like, if you were to like slowly crawl your way up a hill to like peek over the hill and look through the hill, what would you be trying to look at? You'd be sure what's on the other side of that hill. Let's let's go that way. Let's look at that. Now, the other thing that kind of weirded me out was these eyeball thing shaped things that hit the surface of the treetops, and like it moved, and as it moved, another one appeared right behind it and followed. And then there were two, and they tracked across the map of the earth, basically, what it looked like, the surface of the earth. And they both look like the eyes of Sauron, man. They look like, some old eyes that, that stuff was. Yeah, that's cool. Your Guyver head. It's
Yeah.
cool, man.
Hey, hold on. Here we go.
Well, I've been getting reports in that two different people have put out offers or have attempted to purchase TikTok. Now, I don't know left and right on this situation, per se, but I do know that whoever buys TikTok needs to hurry up and get it done.
Yeah. I just there's a bunch of like controversy over the whole thing, and I understand that. Like I said in the video that I posted, well, I might have posted it. I don't know yet. My brain's been fogged over today. Anyways, um, that for whatever reason the government has decided to ban the app, and no, I don't agree with it. But I also know that they have their reasons, and at this point in time, there's nothing I myself can do about it. The people that do have the power don't want to.
Oh, yeah, no, I understand that.
And they're supposed to be working for us. Like we're not supposed to like the way the government is running right now. It is not like our forefathers are rolling in their grave.
I mean, not necessarily. So here's the deal. From what I've been dissecting from all of this is what the breakdown ultimately is is the people who are in charge who wrote this bill, they're being paid by other companies who are in competition with TikTok. And those people,
Yeah, I read something on that. Oh, Mister
those,
Mike P. A Robot loves Sweet Baby Ray's too much. Is
yeah,
lobbying the hell out of people.
yeah. So, look at, what is it? So with this TikTok specifically, there was a whole committee, right? This whole committee, they investigated, like us, the people, we investigated this committee, and we investigated the funding that these people, these politicians were getting from their lobbyists and where the funds were coming from. we found out that Google is a big player in this whole TikTok scam. Okay, Google has been footing the Congress with money to get them to look into TikTok. Why is this an issue? Well, because Google and Facebook and all these other big companies, they have to give data to the American government that the American government can then sell to the highest bidder themselves. This is the American government's already doing it, okay? So I don't want to hear like, oh, we're protecting your data. No, they're not. The American government is already doing this. So what the American
They're
government is
claiming
mad
it as
about,
theirs.
what the American government is mad about is TikTok won't sell the data to them first so they can sell it to China.
Either way, it's greed.
Okay. So because Google sells their data to America and then America sells it to China. We already
Either
know
way,
this.
they shouldn't be
We,
doing
we
that.
track Well, we've tracked the transitions as us as the normies, the people who are tracking this and following along with this. We have tracked the transactions, the money from China and Google, and have paid attention to where that money flows. So it went from China to Google to the politicians. Okay, so and things like that. And then when Google sells its data to the American government, the American government sells that data to whoever pays the highest dollar, because that's what's happening. It's just they want to sell it for money. And America's not getting TikTok money. This is all it all boils down to is America's not getting the same money out of TikTok that they get out of Google, and America wants the money out of TikTok, so they're going to force everybody else out that's allowing that to happen. And then they're going to put in people in place of TikTok that's going to give America money from TikTok. That's what's going
Yeah.
to happen. In America, I'm not talking about America, the people, the normies like us, the user. I'm talking about America, the corporation. So
Hmm.
that's all I have to say about that. That's what I know. That's the research I have done on this.
I heard with the whole thing with TikTok that it's also kind of being like really heavily taught, like, hey, get them because a certain someone has his own platform that is really beginning to in certain aspects.
What do you mean, Tangerine Palpatine's Truth Social?
Yeah, I heard True Social is like it's not doing what he wants it to do. So it's not bringing him all the money and all the attention, basically.
Well, it is and it isn't. He's still got to build it up. Like, you know what I mean? He's still got to push it and build it up. And
See, that's
uh,
the thing. He has to. It has to be done, but it's not happening fast enough for him.
well, that and a part of the other problem is these big tech companies, because they view him as a threat. They don't want to do business with him. So you have to go directly to True Social, their .com or their whatever their thing is, and you have to download their applications and stuff directly from them. Google won't support it or
No,
whatever,
because
or
he's
Apple won't
too.
support it.
Mm.
So there is
Nobody
that.
wants
That
to
is
work
why.
with. I wonder why.
Well, they did that on purpose. They told him, like they said that they would not support him. They've done this to other people. It's really crooked business practice, to be honest with you. But it's directly out of Karl Marx's playbook. Okay, so if anybody wants to know where this is coming from, what they're doing to Donald Trump, Tangerine Palpatine, whatever they're doing to him, if you go read Karl Marx's playbook, it tells you word for word, chapter by chapter, exactly what they have done to him. This is they're pulling the straightest straight from the book. It's almost like plagiarism what they're doing to this guy, right? They're at the point to where they're excluding him from doing any kind of businesses, and they snicker at him when he walks through a room to make him paranoid. That's what's going on right now. Okay, those are the things they're doing to him because nothing else has worked. Nothing has driven him away. Nothing has gotten rid of him. They're just going one tactic after the other from Karl Marx's book, and it's really lame. I think that they could be more inventive instead of being so obvious.
That would probably help out, but We, the working class, really don't know much compared to those of the 1% who are uber perfect.
Well, I wouldn't say perfect.
You ask some people and that are like well off or anything, and they're good, but the people that are at the top, oh, they're so.
Yeah, no, I know, but yeah, like I've expressed to you before, I feel like that's on it. It's not really a political thing there. That's more of a that's on a whole different spectrum of have and have not.
Narcissism.
Classism, classist, whatever you want to
uh,
call it.
Whatever you want to, whatever you shake a stick at, it's still pathetic in my book.
Yeah, you know.
We're all people. We all bleed red. We all need to get along with each other because at the end of the day, when everybody else is out doing themselves, like everybody else in the world out taking care of their things, should be focusing here in our own country. We need to stop letting all this BS that's been going on.
Well,
In my book, that's what
I
we
got
should
no
do.
quarrel with I've got no quarrel with us as a country focusing inward for a while. You're right. I've got no quarrel with directing our attention to, hey, we need to fix these things. These things aren't working right. We need to what we need to do is we need to make
We need,
no, no,
we just need to
I
restart
don't
the
want to say
government.
we need to make it. I want to say we need to reform our society in a manner that makes participation something people enjoy. Okay, taxation is going to happen. That's going to be a thing. Whatever. It doesn't matter what society we go through. We're going to have to deal with that no matter what. So that can't be something that can be on the table for reform right now. But what we can do is we can try and make the society reform to where those people that are participating, they feel benefits from the participation. They feel happy. They get rewarded from that participation. Now, there are people who do find that in the society we live in today, but there's a large percentage of people who do not feel these rewards. And it really outweighs certain people once you get to a certain level of monetary leverage. If you have enough monetary leverage on your side, then you're going to continue to benefit in the most positive ways. But if one thing happens, you could be on your way, and one thing could happen. One bill could come up to interrupt your whole process, and you'd never make it. You'd never go. You know. However, that's all just pure speculation. That's not me saying this has happened to anybody or this will happen. It's just when we look at the society as a whole, restructuring it to benefit the morale of our society over our pocketbooks and the bottom dollar of the corporations' pocketbooks. If we exclude all that, the taxation and what money we're making, we need to ask the people if the work you're doing is not satisfying, why aren't you inventing a new job and creating the work that is satisfying? Right? And that's something we could do, and that's a way to boost the morale of our country as an idea. I don't know. Just a thought.
I mean, that does make sense in the grand scheme of things, if you think about it.
Uh, But then, you know, who do we put in charge to implement this idea? The corporations or the government? Both? Neither? We create a new entity? Well, when we tried creating these new entities before, the government comes in and crushes them. Says, nah, you can't do this. This sounds like you're trying to be a government. We're crushing you. You know, so that's worrisome, whenever people try to make that change, try to make that. And it's not even morals or laws or anything. We're just trying to be like, hey, like what you were saying, man, pay attention, be more of a community. Um, make the society you want to live in a better society. Don't wait for the society to come to you and be better. You got to be there pushing to make that society better.
Hmm.
So booyah, some knowledge. Drop that on you. What's up? I'm so
Because, like I said, yeah, You're right though. It We need to push for a better society that benefits the morale of the people, and that is a very good point you made. I would definitely, I definitely agree with that. Because
Yeah,
if we were worried about more of what people are, I wouldn't say feeling, but like necessarily, but more like about how certain things are going for them that can affect everything else in a whole. Just relieving just a little bit of that. Like say, hey, you need some food? You know, there's some over there. Go grab it. Just little things like that can make a difference in the most profound ways. So there
yeah.
needs to be more things like that going on. There's a guy I follow on TikTok called Tiger Bomb. That guy has gotten credit on so much just for helping people, and he's been through a lot. And he pulls his pickup truck, his fully loaded pickup truck every year around Christmas just to help people in Chicago get care packages put together for the winter year months and everything that are coming.
Okay.
That's the kind of guy he is. But people are out there bagging on him and just things like that. Why is it necessary to go after someone that's helping someone?
Well, for a couple of reasons. Um, there's always going to be somebody that's bitter that you're doing something they're not. No matter who you are, where you go, there's always going to be somebody that's going to be upset that you're doing something that they're not. So don't,
And
it's like, so
the
don't
person
hold that
that's
against them. Like that, that's
the
just the way they are.
individual I'm refer the other individual that happens to be a part of this, he calls himself a good Christian. Then why are you sitting there acting like a douche and
I'm a good
saying he
tree.
should be punished severely to the fullest and permanently, basically?
We,
Things
and
like this. He says he's going to do a charity event and then he backs out.
yeah,
He admits to being a cloud chaser and loves admitting to it. Like,
me, right here.
and man, you're a good Christianly person.
No, I'm not.
I'm staying away from that individual. I hope I never meet him.
No,
Just those kind of like, if we stopped worrying about going after people like that and started worrying about going after the people that do those kind of go afters and getting those kind of people out of society as much as possible, or to the point to where they're not as influencing.
well, see, that's another problem. Is see, we can't start making drawing lines and excluding people for things.
On
We gotta let them know, hey man, that's not cool. We don't like that. But at the same time, like, look, all we are as humans is we're just apes that
I
decided
just
to write the rules down.
there's just a
It's the
lot of
ape.
negativity in the world, and
There
a
is.
lot of it needs to stop.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm just trying to shed some light on why it's so hard to to accomplish this, right? It's because we are apes that just decided to start writing things down. Okay. We really truly at the core of everything we are. We're apes that decided to write it down. I have more hair than other people and other people might have more hair than me, but still we at the core of it all, we come from that primal family, and those negative things, those
Well,
violences, those acts of
well,
self
I don't mean
defense,
go
all
after a
those
person
those are just
violently or anything. Just be like, hey, that's not cool.
no, but listen, like also the selfishness, the arrogance, those two traits are also inherited traits from our primate ancestors. Okay, like so, we they're really hard to like push out of us. Yes, we can grow up and we can teach our children. Look, we can teach our children everything there is to teach them, but at the age of 13, they'll still stick their hand in a blender because they let the intrusive thought into their mind. Okay? It will happen. All right? I'm not saying that, like, we can't get rid of all of it or anything like that. I'm saying we just, it's a too big of a problem and we should focus a little more locally and less global. More
Well,
local, less global. Like that. You remember that Christian Slater from My Name Is Earl?
well, I mean, just the generalized, like, what I was trying to say basically, I guess, is there's a lot of anger in the world, and you're right, we do need to worry about morale. And we can only change it from our own corner right now.
Yeah, no, you're 100% on that, and you're tracking with me on the right thing. Here's where I'm trying to get with it is with the morale, right? If we do start changing the morale, those angry people might become less angry because they'll have less reasons to be angry. And I mean, at the same time, though, I don't know because you know some of the negativity of our world is just people can't see other people being happy. People just don't
People
want to.
making stupid decisions.
Oh, that too, but it's very clear. Like
There's, there's
the incident in Louisiana. Okay, the incident in Louisiana that just happened over New Year's. That was somebody who was upset that other people were having a good time, and he took his bad time out on them, and that was negativity, right? That was the just of the negativity. But the problem was is those people didn't know him. I don't think they were like people who had done him wrong in any way. They were just those were the people that were there that it happened to. It sucked. Like, and I feel so bad for those people. Like, I feel bad that that happened to them. But that guy, he was just having a bad day and saw that everybody else was having a good time and everybody else was trying to be free from their worries and their bad days. And he decided that it wasn't okay for them to try and do that or something. You know what I mean? So we also have to fight that urge too. We got to fight those people and stop them from reaching out, preventing everybody else from pushing for that better moral, or that better morality, that better standard of living for happiness. Because if we're all going to sit and look at the negative things of everything in our lives, like
well,
you not
like
being happy, we're going to keep like instead of being happy.
it's at the end of the day, hate is hate, anger is anger, and if we don't stop from creating it as much in our own lives, we just continue to make the same mistakes that we've made all the time, as not only as a person, as a singular person, but as a race.
Well, as it stands, if you want to know where we are as a society at whole, from not necessarily my opinion, but my observation of where society stands today, America is New Rome.
Uh, I I can see where a lot of people see us Americans as the enemy, and unfortunately, some of the times we can be bad people, but not all of us.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not necessarily that's not something that I'm
But
putting on.
right now, like I don't even understand our own government, like the reasonings for doing things. It's
Well, okay, I'm not even just talking about the government, man. I'm talking about society
I know
altogether.
like
Whole.
And
Every aspect has it falls directly into where we are all following down that same path.
I, what I was going to say is after the government, I don't even understand most people even
Right.
because there is so much negativity out there. And yes, there is a lot out there, but then there are also people that are actively trying to do better for people. And for some reason, there are still people out there that don't agree with one thing that that person does in their life or whatever it may be. Instead of, like, again, negativity only gets negativity. So hurt people. Doesn't make it right. It's just, it's in my mind, it's weakness. I'm just gonna call it what I call it. It's weakness.
Yeah.
But you can
That,
choose
that's what drives
either
a person.
you can either choose to let it control you or you can get like find a way to deal with it and move on.
Well, yeah. Those hurt
That's my whole
people.
thing. Why do
Those
you
hurt people are usually those people that don't want to see other people having those that fun and stuff because they're
bullies?
not. Well, yeah, you could say they're bullies, but I mean, what is a bully?
Someone that is hurt that has no that gets themselves feeling better by belittling and berating someone's either intelligence, clothing, way of life, whatever it may be.
That's a good definition. You broke that down amazing. I love that definition. Yeah, I mean, we've all had to fight our own bullies, right?
I mean, everybody that I've met in life has had one or two bullies.
Yeah, my bullies are in bed right now.
I mean,
They're
either way,
14 and 13.
huh?
I said they're 14 and 13, but they're in bed right now. My bullies, get it? My kids. Sure.
That
I mean,
that
there's some
sounds like
people,
he was. I don't know. That just sounded like he was a big burly dude for some reason.
my kids. No, I did have a couple bullies in school. Man, I dealt with them. One of them I didn't really deal with. I just avoided. You know,
Well,
couldn't get me.
I agree with like now that I'm older. Oh man, I can't believe I just said that. But I understand a lot more that I don't. Like I said, violence begets violence.
Yeah.
Hurt people. There are too many
Well,
hurt
like
people
I
in the
said,
world, apparently.
I didn't like fight my bullies. Just dealt with it. Like I knew my teachers weren't going to do anything about it. Then we
I
had,
didn't say you were dealt with it in a violent way, man. I'm just saying, like, at the end of it, sometimes hurt people just can't help but hurt people. Doesn't make it right. I mean, uh, I guess there's a lot of butt hurt people in office right now.
yeah, my butt hurt. No.
So everybody on Capitol Hill, if you're a male, get yourself a anti douche pill.
Anti-douche pill, that is called.
A big tall glass of haterade is right up next to it.
Are these douches used or get it?
Just not right, man. Good burn, but not right.
Well, because half of them act like they're used and expired.
I don't know.
Get it?
Mer-
They're old. It's old. They're old.
Uh,
Anyways,
I mean, if they're anti-douche, wouldn't that mean that copper-coated Palpatine couldn't take them?
oh, it's okay. They lined it with bleach.
that just that was too easy. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. Wouldn't forgive me.
They lined it with bleach. Yeah.
Oh man. Um, just when you thought it was safe to watch a podcast that's nerdy, here we are.
It's okay. Anyways, back to the topic I was talking about earlier with UFOs over there in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I saw this one that looked like this crazy spaceship. This one was the one that really got me like going, what the fudge is going on here? They wilding out over there with them UFOs.
So
Project
like
Easy.
everybody's just bugging out. It sounds like over that way. Like
Oh
it was like Men in Black when they found out the roach was on Earth.
yeah. We've got a bug.
Meow. Not anymore. Everybody comes back. Son of a bitch. Yeah, basically that's what it sounds like. It sounds like something was set off over there as they basically get out because this is here or is coming.
Well, that's another thing I was thinking is maybe, yeah, it could have been a warning.
Could have been stop fucking around. You guys are messing up real bad, yeah.
Shots fired! You know, UFOs. But none of the videos showed them using any light emitting weapons or dews. They didn't use any dews or anything. So I'm just like, the dew is a DEW dew, like Mountain Dew, but DEW
Yeah,
means directed energy weapon. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any signs of them. But what was weird was we were getting the like eyeball thing, right? Well, these UFOs were flying around them. They weren't. They would not go under it or cross its path. They flew around these things. Like so, there was like they were there, but they were like, yeah, we're gonna avoid that too. So I was like, a little confused here about that. In these videos, like, why would they also want to go around it? Maybe it can hurt them too. Maybe a secret just was released. They're vulnerable to light.
Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein. It would be a very possible thing. First, we have to start with the generator.
He has a hole in the head. That would be weird to explain to the person. Well, it looks like your husband has a hole in the head.
It's a platypus.
Every time I say Liechtenstein, I just keep on thinking of Frau Booker.
Crap, crap,
Young
Okay then.
Liechtenstein, that movie was awesome. Oh, you gotta play the original Willy Wonka.
Um,
Danny Wilder.
yeah, he did Young Einstein or whatever. He did Young Frankenstein too.
Oh no, it was yeah, it was Young Frankenstein. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I just
there
said.
was a show on in the '90s called Young Dracula. It was weird,
Cringe.
huh?
It's cringy, y'all.
He lived
Uh,
in an abandoned school, out of all places.
right. Wow, it has been over an hour, buddy. I gotta get out of here.
All right, man.
Hey, you have yourself a great night, sir.
All right, you too, man. All right, so with that, I am going to be shutting off my camera, and every so often I will cycle through some of the camera views. So keep rocking. I'm going to snip out a few more parts, and by the time I'm done snipping these out, I will be ending. So before I turn my mic off, stay nerdy, keep rocking, and stay blessed. I'll see you guys back here at the Forge later.